Ninjago Dragons Rising should be renamed Ninjago MECHS Rising because we've gotten so many mechs, and in this video, I'm going to be ranking all of them from worst to best, starting off with number 16. Here, I put Aaron's Battle Mech. Listen, it is a 4+ set, it looks overly clunky and bulky, the top half looks really thin compared to the bottom half for some reason. It also uses the same 4+ mech legs that I really hate. This is one of the better 4+ sets, but it's nowhere near as good as the other mechs on this list. Now going on to number 15, here I have the Wolf Mech side build from the Kai Elemental Mech. Not much to say on this one, it's a cute small little mech. I think that the arms are a little too long and they give this mech a weird look. I like the tail on the back, but I don't think that this mech overall is all too great. Now going into number 14, we have Jay's mech from the J Mech Battle Pack. This one is yet another cute little mech. It has good posability and it is pretty fun to play with in my opinion. In terms of aesthetics, it is really simple with the bulk of the mech being made up by that Marvel cockpit piece. I think for what this mech is, it's not bad, just again, nothing too great. Going on to number 13, we have Zane's Battlesuit Mech. This one's similar to the last couple of mechs. I feel like it is a little bit better because that front cockpit piece does have so much bulk, though it does stick out a little bit. Again, posability and playability are really solid, so overall, a nice little mech in my opinion. Just a little bit better than the other ones on this list so far. Next up, we have number 12, Aaron's Ninja Team Mech, and I feel like a broken record saying this, but it's yet another small mech that's decent but not all too great. I like the creative piece usage like the dragon piece for the front part of the mech, and the Marvel mech cockpit piece as the knee pads, and I think that those just slightly push this mech over the others for me. Going on to number 11, we have Kai's mech from the Storm Rider. This is an Evo style mech and I do love those, which is why this mech is above the others on this list. However, I don't think that this mech does enough to differentiate itself from the previous Kai Evo mechs. Like, it's not a bad thing to have 3 different Kai Evo mechs, but they're just so similar that I find it kind of annoying. Other than that, this mech isn't bad, it's just really uninteresting to me personally, which is why I think that number 11 is a decent spot for it. Now going into the top 10, at number 10 I have Lloyd's Ninja Team Mech, and this mech is just a mess in my opinion. It is a big mech, so I was expecting to like it a lot more, but it's just not visually appealing. The big brownish pieces along the shoulders just don't fit in, the chest feels unusually thin, the sandals for shoes and the mech's legs just don't feel all that great in my opinion. The head is nice, but overall for a big Ninjago mech, I expected a lot more because they have done a lot better in the past, and this mech just doesn't deliver in my opinion. Now going into number 9, we have Lloyd's Elemental Mech. Now finally we get into the Elemental Mechs, which are my favorite line of mechs. Apart from the Titan mechs, of course, the reason I love these mechs is because they're sizable, they have great playability, and great posability. Lloyd's I think is the worst one out of these, but it is still pretty good in my opinion. I like the samurai helmet thing on top of the head, I think that looks pretty cool. The red is a little bit out of place on this mech, but I don't mind as much. The hands and legs are both alright, though I do like the creative way they made the feet. A really solid mech overall. Just a quick reminder before we get on to the really good mechs, if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to like and subscribe. Anyway, back to the list. Now, going on for number 8, we have Sora's Elemental Tech Mech. This is the next Elemental Mech, and I think that this one is better than the Lloyd one. I like the thin legs and arms as well as the small body. They really make this mech feel elegant, which I think fits Sora's personality. Sora's color scheme is great as usual with the white, pink, and the dark blue, and the transparent pink spinning blade just adds the final touch in my opinion. Again, posability and playability are fantastic as they are with all of these Elemental mechs. Something about the aesthetic just makes me love this mech, I don't know, and I think it was really well done, which is why I think that number 8 is a pretty good spot for this set. Now going on into number 7, we have Cole's Elemental Earth Mech. This one, in contrast to Sora's Elegant Mech, is just so bulky and I love it for that. The use of armor pieces as knee pads and shoulder pads really adds to this set in a great way and just gives it such an imposing look in person. I have very few complaints about this set as it, again, has some great playability and the overall bulky aesthetic makes me love it. And this mech just perfectly encapsulates Cole, which is why I love it so much and which is why I'm going to be putting it here at the number 7 spot. Going on into number 6, we have Sora's Mech Bike Racer. I think this set takes the cake for being one of the most creative Ninjago sets out there. The mech is fantastic with solid posability and a really cool aesthetic bolstered by Sora's cool color scheme. The reason this set is so high though is that it can transform into a pretty good looking bike in my opinion. Honestly, this mech is just so unique and fun, it's hard not to love it, which is why I'm putting it just barely outside of the top 5. Now going into the top 5, we have the Empress mech. This mech is just so sleek looking. It has bendable knees in the arms and the torso. Just add a lot of posability to this set. I honestly thought I'd have a lot more to say about this mech, but it just has such a clean look that I love, and there's not much more I can say on top of that. Going on to number 4, we have Kai's Elemental Mech. This is the last Elemental Mech we have, and yeah, it is my favorite. I think that it perfectly combines the sleek and bulky aesthetics so well, and out of all of the Elemental Mechs, I think that this one just seems like a big robot, which I love. The color scheme was done well on this set, with the red and the little bits of gold and orange and yellow. Again, this is practically a flawless mech, and probably the best mech that they could have made at this scale, which is why I think that number 4 is a good spot for this set. Now going into the top 3, we have Kai's Climber mech. Now this mech was very strange to me personally when I first saw it, but it's really grown on me. I like how robotic and skeletal and thin it looks, especially how it gets really thin near the legs, where it's just like one Technic piece. And for some reason I think that's cool. The claw hooks on the back are also really nice, and I love the feature where you can just hang the whole mech by one claw. I think that was some really clever designing to make the whole mech be able to held up by one claw, and I think that the designers did a great job on this set. I don't know, there's just something that I love about how this mech looks, which is why I'm going to put it in the top 3. Now going on to number 2, we have Zane's Ultra Combiner mech from the most recent wave of Ninjago Dragons Rising. This one's just a really fun set in my opinion, similar to the Sora Mech Bike Racer. I think that it looks really good in mech form, but also manages to look really good transformed and split into the different vehicles as well. It doesn't have knees, but I think that's a decent compromise given the really fun transformation feature, and it does look like you can put it in some cool poses though. The whole disassembly process isn't too tedious, and it's definitely something that I would have loved as a kid, and I'm sure that many kids are enjoying this play feature as well. The color scheme is a bit messy, or so I thought, but overall I think this mech does look really nice, and of course it is a fantastic toy with the transformation feature. Well folks, we finally made it. It's number 1, and to the surprise of pretty much no one, I'm going to be putting Cole's Titan Dragon mech. Again, like I said, there's definitely no surprise here. This is by far the best mech, the best Ninjago mech, possibly even the best Lego mech. Why, you ask? This mech does literally everything perfectly. It's super posable, it looks amazing on a shelf, and it's also huge. I have trouble conveying into words how awesome this mech is, and if you own this mech, let me know in the comments what you like about this set, because I personally don't own it, and I'm having trouble like describing what all is perfect about this set. Though I do think that by far this is the best Ninjago mech of all time. Anyway, that's gonna do it for my video though. Let me know which mechs you personally enjoy from Dragons Rising in the comments below and subscribe.